Hi, I am Stephanie J. Block.
And I'm Mary Lee Fairbanks.
Welcome to Season 5 of Stages Podcast,
where we go behind the scenes and beyond the resume.
Join us as we talk to some of the greatest talents from theater, TV, film, and more. And then check out stagespodcast.net for past episodes, merch, and so much more.
And love where you are now. There is so much to discover every day at the Museum of Broadway. Come explore 3 floors of dazzling costumes and props from your all-time favorite shows like Hamilton, The Phantom of the Opera, Rent, Wicked, and many more. It's the only place that you can get up close with Broadway's history from 1732 to the present day and learn how a show is made from Broadway's biggest icons. It's perfect for all ages. The Museum of Broadway is a front row seat and a backstage pass all in one. Visit themuseumofbroadway.com for tickets today. Hello, my friends. I want to tell you about this amazing initiative brought to you by The Outsiders Musical. It is called the Stay Gold Project. The Outsiders Musical, winner of the 2024 Tony Award for Best Musical, is committed to honoring young voices through the Stay Gold Project. It's an educational initiative inspired by this story that was written by a teenager about teenagers. With the lead grant from the legendary notebook maker Moleskine, this project includes free education resources, a youth ambassador council, and underwritten ticket access at no cost to young people. The Stay Gold Project is presented in partnership with the New York City Public Schools. If you'd like to learn more about the Stay Gold Project or to donate, go to outsidersmusical.com/stay-gold. That's outsidersmusical.com/stay-gold.
My friend, stay gold. My friend, stay gold.
Stages Podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Our theme song says, "Love where you are now," but sometimes we all need a little help. I've learned from therapy and in my yoga practice that growth comes from challenges. A good therapist can help you reframe the way you look at a challenge and your life. And BetterHelp can provide you with a therapist that gives you some tools to navigate. They offer customized online therapy, either on video or phone chat sessions. It's more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can reach a therapist in under 48 hours. And right now, Stages cast members get 10% off their first month with BetterHelp, so don't wait. Remember, when you support our sponsors, you support Stages Podcast. So log on to BetterHelp, that's HELP.com/stages, and love where you are now.
In 2014, I found myself in the middle of Washington, D.C.'s elite. Sebastian was filming House of Cards at the time, and we had been invited to the White House's Correspondents' Dinner. I was, or felt like I was, totally a fish out of water. And then seemingly out of nowhere comes this traffic-stopping smile and familiar voice, Darren Criss. We hugged, and I had found comfort, I had found familiarity, I'd found a friend. He feels like this to many people because of his uncanny ability to be his loving and disarming self anywhere and everywhere. It also seems like he is everywhere. Television, for me, it's Glee. That's what first comes to mind because he was so fabulous as Blaine Anderson and had a major crush on him. And then he won the Emmy and Golden Globe Awards for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Limited Series or Movie for playing Andrew Cunanan in Ryan Murphy's American crime story, The Assassination of Gianni Versace. He's an incredible musician and songwriter. He plays the piano, the guitar, the violin, the drums, mandolin, and harmonica. He has landed at the top of Billboard charts for the Glee soundtracks, also for his own compositions with the A Very Potter musical comedy series, his own indie pop career. He's a Broadway favorite, starring in my current Broadway favorite musical, the revelatory Maybe Happy Ending. Co-founded Star Kid Productions, an LA-based musical theater company. He co-founded Elsie Fest, which is a wildly popular outdoor music festival celebrating the music from stage and screen. He co-founded Two Beautiful Children with his wife partner Mia, and he creates and creates and creates. I feel like he operates on a different time cycle where there are more than 24 hours in a day. I certainly know he operates from a place of brilliance and artistry and ingenuity, and we are so happy to be chatting with the omnipresent Darren Criss. Darren Criss, to stage, please. Darren, please come to stage.
I have to tell you how much I love Maybe Happy Ending. What an amazing show. It's everything that
I
you
gotta,
want
I gotta
theater
tell
to
you how
be.
much I love Maybe Happy Ending. There's,
Ah, well, it's just
I would agree.
magical. It's so
I
beautiful and magical, and you are amazing in it.
Oh my
It's
God.
just a wonderful show.
Yeah, I would agree. I could, and I say that because I didn't write the show, so there's the pride that I have in it is that of sort of objective outsider looking in. My love language is really getting to share things that I love with people that I love, and anybody who knows me or has been in my life long enough, they know this is like an obsessive hobby of mine. So whether it's a favorite restaurant or a favorite song or a favorite show, you can't wait for them to experience it and then kind of compare
And then
notes.
share that.
That's what I love. So I'm sitting here every time, we the show ends, I get off stage, like wanting to. It's like there's this delicious cake, this meatball, this amazing meal that you're just looking at their face
Do you love it? Do you
excitedly
love
as
it?
they take that bite, going, right, right,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
But that is
And
what
so
this show feels like. It really does feel like you're sharing something so special with everyone in the
yes,
audience. It's beautiful.
And the
yeah,
meal has
I
so many different flavors. Like you
it
might think
does,
you know where it's going, and then
Yeah.
it goes somewhere else,
Yeah.
and then it
yeah,
goes somewhere else. I wish I was sitting by Mary Lee when we saw it for the first time. And I love you, Mary Lee, but I wish I was beside my husband because it felt like a true love story to
Yeah.
me, like a love of life, a love of what's around you without even knowing what's outside. And then that love grows when you have to walk out in fear and unknown and uncertainty. Like the whole thing just was like a massive love letter with all these different layers. Seb called me at intermission. He's like, I'm a puddle. I'm a puddle. I was like, I know, my love.
yeah.
And you haven't hit the act two. He's like, I'm a puddle. So,
Well, let's make it very clear, there is no act two. It's a one
so
act
when did he
play.
call me?
He called you right after it was done. That was it.
My mind would have put the act, without spoiler alert, when you guys were sitting in a car about to start
Yeah.
the journey.
Nope.
Why do I
It
feel
goes
like there was a
it goes
massive
right through.
break?
Well, well, that's a win because that's just, I feel, very strong dramaturgy doing its work.
It was
But you know what
December.
happens is you go out in the world and you feel like the world looks a little different
Mhm.
after the show. You
Well,
really do.
that's
You
what
carry it with you.
art. That's what art can and
Really
should do
good
at its
art.
absolute
Wow.
Yeah.
best. 'Cause it's hard. If we all knew how to put the fucking lightning in the bottle, we'd do it every day. We
Yeah.
don't. It's very, very hard. And the alchemy that allows that to happen has so much to do with things that you simply cannot control. So that's why it is lightning in a bottle. That's why it is a magical moment of serendipity and a beshert load of beshert. There's a
How
lot
long
of
have
things that have to happen.
how long have you been with it? How did it come to you?
It's been kind of not unlike the adventure of the show. It's sort of like this thrill ride that kind of comes knocking out of nowhere. I knew about it because it's been around New York, and we're a bunch of theater nerds and Broadway people. So, I'm whether I try to or not, I tend to be privy with the kind of goings-ons of readings and stuff because there's always some kind of degree of separation between your buddy that worked on the thing. So
Mm.
it's been around New York, and I've known people that have done readings. And Michael Arden, who directed this, has been a friend of mine for many years
Mm.
and asked me, I want to say 2018, 2019, but I was too busy. I couldn't do it. And then it was just for a reading. And like anything wonderful in life, it's like relationships. It's all about timing. And if there was one, piece of calendar Tetris that was slightly off, then how it's amazing how different all of our lives would be,
Uh-huh.
in a number of situations. And so for this, I happened to be available this time, and not only was I available, but it was for the version of the show that was the highest operating version of it possible, which was Broadway. And it kind of blew my mind because Michael Arden is a pretty prolific guy, and he's pretty tied up, and he's had such a robust, couple of years with a
Hmm.
pretty tight schedule that when he's like, "Hey man, I first of all, I don't get calls like this. Like this is because it's from a friend. People think for actors, it's like, Scorsese called me and he wanted to do this thing. And I'm like, wow, that sounds amazing. Like everybody, like most people, I hear about something. I hope I might get an audition. If I'm lucky enough to get an audition, I audition for it, and then we see what happens.
Yeah.
These things don't really happen. But Michael does happen to be a friend, so it was a little less like a talented stranger called me and said, "I want you." It was my buddy called me and said, "You want to do a fun thing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course. Yeah, like, am I around? Let me check. Oh my God, I am. What are you thinking? Is this a reading?" He's like, "No, this is going to Broadway." And I'm like, "Wait, what about, is it going out of town?" It already did in 2020. I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's right. You took it to the Alliance. Well, how come it's not on Broadway already?" He's like, "Well, there's a pandemic and a strike." I'm like, "Okay. So you already have a theater?" "Yep." "Okay. It's like funded?" "Yep." Do you have like an opening date?" "Yep." "Oh, wait, what?"
I know.
Uh, and it's just
How
like
do you
I'm
say no
fully
to that?
aware. Yeah, it doesn't happen. Like
Yeah.
I'm aware of how absurd that is. It was like a turnkey opportunity. Um, I was really in this crossroads of like, what are we going to do? Or my son was about to be born. I didn't have any work lined up, and just again, the serendipity of all of it is so. And I've said this at almost every single time people have come back to talk about the show afterwards, or try to say this in as many news outlets as possible, but I keep saying it as many times as I can to be very clear to the universe of where my gratitude lies.
Mm.
This show is the greatest possible thing that could be happening, could have happened, that is happening to me at this point in my life, to me and my family, personally, professionally, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually.
Oh,
There's no
gosh.
higher rung on the ladder. I am beyond grateful, and I'm, again, to use the great Yiddish concept of beshert, I am besherting my pants at all times, just with how unbelievably lucky I am to be in this. Because there's like what the show is, what it's about, what it's offering to the world,
That's
what
right.
it offers to me personally. There's so many things that just go beyond like, oh wow, it's a nice work if you can get it. Like, oh, like having a job is nice. Sure, that's great. It's another thing to have a show that feels strong. It's a good thing. But then it's another to be like additive
Yeah.
to the cultural fabric in some kind of way. And I'm very, very careful with that, because it sounds like every fucking artist up his own butthole sniffing his own farts. But I can objectively say, given the fractured universe that we live in at the moment, it's nice to be in a living, breathing hug.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
that's
know,
what it feels
for
like.
for everybody at any point in their life, no matter what they're dealing with, on both sides, on all sides of the political line.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This is a
And a
this is a
living,
hand.
breathing
This is a
hug
hand.
that you're not expecting. Coming from
Exactly.
South Korea, coming from material that we're not familiar with, coming from, you read a synopsis of what it is and then find out it has more humanity than things that you have seen for decades. Like,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
this wild, unexpected, beautiful surprise.
This group knows too much. We've seen too much theater, so we are now encumbered by our own expectation and
Mhm.
comparison, for better or for worse. But even if you don't know anything about theater, you are still over encumbered by a deluge of personalized echo chamber content that you've seen everything, and the algorithm is trying to give you more of the same.
Mhm.
Because it's a safe bet because it makes sure that you will continue to watch. It's designed to make you engaged, so it's not going to take any chances on anything new. It's always going to be just slightly adjacent to what you already know or what it thinks you already know. So what's so magical about this show in a world where we really have everything everywhere all at once, it's so nice to not only provide, but to get to witness other people walk into a new room and really go, oh, this is something new, and build a new synapse connection in their brain.
This is something new. Like you're doing
This is something new.
something very new. You are one of those actors that can, play the romantic lead and then can play the serial killer and can play, but who knows what to expect when that little square rectangle begins to open up more and more and more. And within 6 seconds, the whole audience sat back in their chair and went, oh, he has us right here, right in the
Oh, I
palm
hope
of his
so.
hand. You do. And then a new actress walks on stage, Helen J. Shen, and you don't know what to expect from her either. And to be able to see all of this newness and yet settle back in like it's comfortable, like you
feel like you're going to be taken care of anyway, even though you don't know what to
Yes! Yeah.
expect. We know we're safe,
I mean,
and we can just settle in and
It's a
go for
magic
that is the
trick.
highest
It's
compliment.
It's magic.
It's
Yeah.
a magic trick.
That's the highest compliment that I think you can give the show as a whole. I think having an audience feel like they're taken care of, to me, is good. Like I always say this about what I do. I'm in the service industry, right? Like I'm in service of, like, I'm not here for me. I'm here for a really good, like, the play's the thing. I'm here to support this play, and in so doing, try and support and be constructive and additive and positive to the experience of an audience. So if that audience feels like comforted and supported, then it's like, fuck yeah. Now we can talk.
Yeah.
Now we can
but also that comfort allows us the freedom to really take the ride and to really let out the tears. And when you guys, I don't want to give anything away, but when you find the firefly and when you finally come together in a kiss, all those moments, because we're so safe, we're allowed to really oh my God, the emotion wash over us. And you look at
a grown-ass man calling me and saying,
everyone is sharing it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's an amazing.
I mean, that's also a testament to the strength of the dramaturgy and just really keen attention to how to construct those moments in order to tee up those payoffs that you guys are talking about, and to have you guys set up to where your hearts and minds are dilated enough to like ingest this kind of material. Like that's a real joy for me. Like, is right now, and I think I said this to you, Steph, as well, which is seeing the show right now is a very unique moment in time because there is no cast album yet. You guys are part of the first wave of theater privy New York Broadway folks that are always going to be part of the initial first shockwave of whatever groundswell this show has been lucky enough to have. It takes a few months before, right now, families around the country and around the world are, planning their trip to New York, maybe their family trip to New York. And now is when they're going to try and see stuff. And as the season goes on, that those waves will hopefully expand to more and more people. Right now, because it's so new, no one I hope this doesn't happen. I say with a wink, but with any luck, 2 years from now, when this is running, you have people on the outermost edges of said shockwave coming in with their arms folded, going like, it's not as good as I thought, as everybody said. Right? Like, it's like the guy that saw Hamilton 5 years later and was like, it's kind of a little overrated.
I guess,
because they've now been conditioned to think a certain way.
To its
greatness. Other than like enthusiastic friends, nobody really has too much to go on. And that's a gift. That's a gift.
It's great.
So I'm enjoying that while I can. Of course, I hope nobody says that in 2 years. But again, that's actually would be a result of it having punctured the cultural zeitgeist enough to have reached somebody who,
people are like, oh, come on.
Whatever.
And we will be right back.
You said, I want to get it right. Did you say to dilate your heart to
like the people are they have like their hearts and minds are dilated.
Yes, I love that. When you were reading the script, Was it crafted in such a way that you were able to also do that, or was it not necessarily on the page
No,
that
it's
sort
there,
of it
100%.
is?
It's on.
No,
So you and Michael Arden and Helen didn't create that sort of openness. It's already on the
I can't
page.
take credit for that. No, I have to
Wow.
say the meat and potatoes of this show, all the
Yeah,
primary colors
they're
are
there.
vibrant and they're very, very present. And for those who are listening and haven't seen the show yet, I hope that you get a chance to come see it. If not, I hope that it does so well that it gets to tour and be around the world for many moons to come. And we'll come to you
Hmm.
one day and hope that if you're listening to it, maybe you'll be even in it one day.
Yeah.
The current production has a whole lot of Broadway bells and whistles. And I'm here to say definitively, it is not imperative for
Yeah.
those bells and whistles to be there. They are a dazzling and wondrous addition to
Yeah.
a beautiful piece of theater.
Hmm.
And I think this will now be a seminal version of this because of what we're allowed to do on Broadway.
Hmm.
But I do not think that they are absolutely, again, imperative to have for the story to hit. And I say
Yeah.
this because the first day of rehearsal, table read, chairs, tables, books, and a piano, I was on the fucking floor. I was
Mm.
so moved by this show. I was so moved. This is another conversation, but like the one thing I can't, the hardest part about the shows is the one thing that I can't do is cry. And it's the one thing I
Yeah.
want to do a lot of the time. Not because I'm sad, but because I'm truly moved by the whole thing.
By the
And
Yeah.
beauty. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that spark, pun intended, I suppose, is so present in, again, the meat and potatoes of Hey Kids, let's put on a show. It's in the
Yeah.
music, it's in the words, and it's in the dramaturgy, and everything else it's my job to make sure that's as um, effectively communicated as possible. Like it is now my job to try and make you guys feel safe
Yeah.
Mhm.
and make sure that dilated window doesn't close
Hmm.
at any point. Like I have to keep it open, but only in service of the show at all
Yeah.
times.
No, it's
Yeah.
it's incredible. It's incredible. But if it's okay, I want to ask you something kind of personal because when I was looking up all of the gifts that you have, I mean, you're a talented musician. You play so many
I thought
instruments,
you meant GIFs as in like like a GIF, and I was like,
Like a
yeah, they've made
meme?
some,
no gifts,
the kids have made some good
gift,
GIFs of me for sure.
gifts.
I
But
use them all the time, so it's they
no,
are a gift. The gifts are
you
gifts.
the gifts that that came from the universe, that your musical gifts and all these, and your languages. You speak so many languages. Usually someone who does things like that require so much focus and so much um energy to learn, they're not as out in the world as you are, if that makes sense.
Mm-mm.
Often when you see someone who can speak that many languages and learn that many instruments, that they operate from a part of their brain that keeps them more inward and focused, and you are
Socially
so.
isolated
Yes.
almost?
But you seem to possess a brain that has that focus, but also has this charm and this outward presence, and almost like you feed um, from being out in the world. And
Yeah,
that's a balance that you don't find very often.
I think it's actually quite intuitive. I think it's all connected. Um, it's because I'm madly in love with the human race. I love people. I really like people a lot. They're
Mhm.
like we're as shitheads as shitheaded as we can be. I still like I love us.
Where
I
did
love
that come
humans.
from for you? Was that in your
I don't know.
upbringing? Is that
Blithe ignorance. I don't know. Just like
Yeah, because
dark raving madness.
I love humanity. I love what we
Yeah.
can be. I love when we are, and I'm not crazy about people these days. I'll be real
Yeah, it's true.
honest.
Well, semantics, because I would say the same thing. Maybe when I say I love humans, I love humanity because they're not the same, but they are the same. They
yeah,
can be the same. They can also not be the same. Things
yeah.
can always be true of both. But before I get uh, too out there, what I was trying to connect the dots to was you were saying, the outwardness of my life, or at least the way that comes off, is because I like people, right? So when doing theater to me is a service thing. Anything that I can do to use whatever party tricks that I have in order to uplift and connect people is kind of like my day-to-day goal. My overarching, drive in life is to minimize the distance between
Mm.
things and particularly people. So if it's and especially things that seem like they shouldn't be close from a distance. So people, ideas, things, concepts, genres. I'm always trying to find. I used this terminology earlier, but the sort of primary colors that can kind of connect everyone in everything and do whatever I can. I happen to be in the performing arts. If I was in medicine, if I was in law, I would probably be doing that with the
Mm,
same drive, just in those fields.
You're a
I happen to not
bridge.
have a, I don't have a yen for listening. Yeah, I'm a connector. I like to connect dots. So, because I'm in the performing arts, communication is like a big one for me, and had to maximize the efficiency and clarity and accessibility of communication. So that's why I love languages. I love languages because it can maximize the amount of ways that I can communicate in other ways. And also learning other languages infrastructurally reinforces the idea that language itself is abstract, that there is not one way to say something, that
mm.
that the language that I'm speaking right now, the construct of English, is a very well organized phenomenon of the human mind that happens to go into the category of English where you can understand what I'm saying.
But it's a
However,
construct. It was
but it's a
made up.
construct.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so if I was to speak any other language, I now have to subscribe to a different construct because ideas are abstract. And so being able to communicate, you know, theater, performing arts, what we're doing on stage is we are translating abstract thought into a concrete experience of some kind.
Mm.
So that's kind of what language is to me, is you're taking an
Yeah.
idea and trying to put it into performance of some kind. So I maximize that through language learning and through instruments, because instruments is its own language,
Yeah.
and they're all kind of connected to me. So playing music to me is a way to service the community at large.
A few episodes ago, we were talking about language. I forget with who, Steph, but we were talking about the concept of the color blue, that in some languages there are so many names for the different kinds of blue, yet in another language there's only three kinds of blue. And the
Sure.
people who are taught there are only three kinds of blue really think that there's only those three. But once you
Yeah,
find out, no, there's all of these things with all of these different names, it just opens up the whole world in a different way because of the
exactly.
language. Yeah.
Yeah,
But you
and
might
it
have to be
tells.
ready for it, right? You have to be ready to accept
Willing.
the
Yeah.
vastness, the
Yeah.
expansion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and also be into the idea that your language that you speak very well, whether that is English or your love language or anything, might not make any fucking sense to another language that makes perfect sense.
Mm.
Like that at its core is why I like people, is because if in general their quote unquote language, body language, behavioral language, political language, is so fucking foreign to mine because it doesn't make sense within the constructs that I understand to be true. I have to, not because I have some kind of like, I'm not saint-like grace. It's actually just pragmatic, sort of scientific like processing. It's that, all right, cool, your language is different than mine. And it's for a reason. It's for a very, it has logic in why you are doing these things. And while they will be in conflict with mine, I'm interested in the why.
That's the
Yeah.
thing. You're willing to receive. So
Mhm.
what ding 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 to me was the love language, right? So we can be in these relationships where people have great respect for each other and care for each other, and you can say I love you, but if you are not giving them the love that they need, that feeds them in the way that they can receive and feel that love, then it doesn't matter what language you're speaking. Does that
Yeah,
make
exactly.
sense?
Yeah.
Yes, of
Makes total
course. Yeah,
sense.
total.
Do you use these languages with your little ones? Are you speaking
Yeah,
different languages to them and with
big
them?
time.
Big
Big
time.
time. Yeah, yeah. And
Which
to
ones do
them,
they pick up first?
well, okay, and while we're still getting pretty heady,
Mhm.
they don't know their different languages.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know that there's anything,
They're
there is no
bebopping
such thing,
around each
there's
quote
no such
unquote
thing as other
language.
languages,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There's just
Ways to
speaking.
communicate. That's
That's
right.
it. That's it. That's all it is. So if anything, they know now words and phrases that are all part of the same quote unquote human language.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I don't. I mean, it's sort of words and phrases for certain things that are useful and
It's
fun.
excellent.
Did you grow
Excellent.
up with
Yeah.
languages in your home when you were growing up? Different languages or just English?
Yes, I
You
did.
did.
Yes, my mom is from the Philippines, but
Filipino?
yeah, so she doesn't speak Tagalog. She can, which is the national language of the Philippines. She's from a part of the Philippines. My mom's Visayan, so from Cebu, so she speaks a dialect of Visayan.
Mm.
Yeah,
And then
so
all
that's
the
its
other
own
ones
little
you just
language.
went in pursuit of learning.
Yeah, I just always had a yen for it. I just don't. I think I've said yen for something more than I've ever said in my entire life in this interview. I've said it twice. I've turned into somebody's grandmother. Uh, so yeah, I was never particularly good at a lot of things in school.
Oh, that's
But
so interesting to
languages,
me.
yeah, languages were always my thing, and it's because it's musical.
Hmm.
It's party trick. It's mimicry, oral
Uh-huh.
mimicry, which not
Mm-hmm.
everybody has an aptitude for. That's just sort of a
Mm-hmm.
thing. It's like the people that I always say that if you're at an office party and they bring out a cake and somebody goes happy, 50% of the room is going to go birthday, and they're going to be in the relative pitch. The other 50% is going to be they're going to have no idea.
Yeah.
The 50% that sings along to the correct pitch
Yeah.
would not classify themselves as singers or good musicians. They
Mm.
just have this sort of genetic predisposition to understand pitch match. That was a whole unnecessary side tangent. But the point is, I'm of that 50% that happens to like have ear tricks and abilities. So when I hear a sound, and I'm sure you guys are good at this too, it's like accents and stuff. It's like a party trick. It's a parlor trick.
Yeah.
So because of that, I like manipulating the sounds and formants of the mouth that come from different languages. So that was like thing number one. Also, because I'm a musician and I enjoy scales and like musical rhetoric, that's what grammar is.
Mm.
If you know how to conjugate a verb in a couple different tenses, it's like knowing a major, minor, and pentatonic scale. You can now just riff pressing randomized buttons, quote unquote, from those scales because you know how to do things that you can make a somewhat discernible of a melody. It's not going to be like Beethoven, but at least you can speak a little bit of the language.
Two
So,
things. I
yeah.
love that you're saying you, and I'm going to embrace that as one might be able to use that.
Yeah, the royal you.
Secondly, on the tangent of happy birthday, listeners, we've got to put the reins on this, okay? When somebody starts happy, this is not the tempo we're going to sing the rest of the freaking song at, okay? This is us just
Oh my
catching on.
God.
Then we got to pick it up. So do it with me.
Spoke like a true singer.
Happy birthday
Birthday
to you.
and just go on.
Happy
Yeah, yeah.
birthday. Yes.
Just like a
Because
rolling
the
tondo. It's
dirge,
very,
the
yeah.
dirge version that happens, it's like 20 minutes later, we're still birthday, dear. I'm like, son of a gun.
Did you say dirge day? Dirth day?
Dearth Day.
It's really good.
Birthday.
So
But
it was my
speaking of that,
birthday.
happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I would not something I would ordinarily advertise, but because it was my birthday just 2 days ago, I went to one of my favorite places in New York City, and they gave me I had a pancake and a little candle in it. It was very sweet, and I loved this. I have to share this. I'm going to steal this now. This guy comes out. And it's a small diner, right? So like you don't want the attention, nor do you want people to sing the song. He just comes up and he goes, "Happy birthday," and puts it down. And I went, "That's all you need."
That's all we needed. That's perfect.
I was like,
Yeah.
he sang it. It was sweet. It was short. It was considerate. And once it was done, I was like, "Oh,
That was great. Yeah, it's true, right? Why do we have to make
That's
it personal?
all
We
you
know
need.
it's literally Mad Libs. You're just filling in the
Yeah.
blank on a couple names and things. It's not
Yeah.
personal. Happy birthday.
that was it." Yep. You're like, yeah, it was
I'm
pretty. It was so charming that he decided to even go for it. But
Yes.
he knew when to quit, which is a really admirable quality.
And you are a pancake guy rather than a French toast or waffle guy?
No, not at all. Actually, I'm typically
No.
not. I'm not a sweet person in the morning. It was just
Ah.
places particularly known for their pancakes.
Okay.
Shout out to the Golden Diner in Two Bridges. But I was like, well, I got to get it. It's my birthday. I'm gonna get a pancake, and so they brought it out, and I made an exception for my birthday, and they really, lit it up with
How
with the single,
sweet.
the titular part of the song, and out, and out you go.
Drop the mic and out.
Yeah.
And you're
Drop the
39.
pancakes.
38? 38.
38.
38.
We're 38 today, yes.
What you
Yes.
have accomplished in a mere 38 years
38, I
is
know.
incredible.
What the
It's
hell year
incredible.
would that have been
You're
for
living
me?
a good life.
38.
Guys, what's nice is like I am of the strong belief, and this is to keep me sane, that you know, life is just continued like 10-year period of realizing how dumb you were 10 years before. So that by the time you're in your 80s, you'll be like, geez, 70? Woof. I remember those days.
Do you feel like you've been on this earth before? Do you believe in reincarnation?
I don't not believe it, but I will say if I did, I wish I'd taken notes because I hope that I would have used some of the things from then for now. So no, I think this is very much the first time I've been here, which is why I'm just soaking it in at all times. Like I have a very like bittersweet relationship with the universe. Like everything exists in dualities for me. Like everything beautiful, everything is as beautiful as it is ugly, everything as long as it is short, everything
both.
at all times. Yeah. So like I am constantly kind of bummed by the fact that this is a limited time offer and that we're just passing through and everything is transient, which is what the show kind of talks about, which is why I love it so much. But because of that, what I like to call the and yet factor, and yet here we are. So like, fuck yeah, let's go. Like, hell yeah, this is amazing. Like, look at all this cool shit and all these cool people.
Yep.
There's not enough time, you know? So I'm always soaking it in. So that's kind of my general, happy-go-lucky vibe is from that.
What does it even mean? And God, it all means so much, right?
Yeah.
And both.
Oh, that's funny. You don't strike me as this is my first time at this rodeo kind of guy. You seem like you've been here before to me because you handle things with a lot of grace and poise, like, I mean, even, let's talk about that, your social media presence and sort of being a public figure. Like we talked about in the beginning, you're a household name in some households. How do you balance all of that with your family and everything else? And I mean, that can be rather overwhelming.
Well, man, I mean, there's no signage anywhere. There's only the parables of people that have gone before you. I always say the Beatles died for every rock band's sins. It's like forever and ever and ever. Now there's the cliches and the pitfalls of what the Beatles went through that every band can now kind of look at and be like, well, that,
Don't
let's
invite
not
a
be that,
Yoko Ono to your rehearsal. Just don't
or
do it. Don't do it.
do. No, we're not Yoko shaming here. But yes, the cliches of the new girlfriend, the outsider, and all those things that are now kind of part of that is so mythologized now.
Right.
I think anybody that lives a public life, there's no real handbook to it because the spectrum is so large of what that means and how people deal with it. And of course, it's a moving target because what that means has mutated over time, certainly the last few years with, the omnipresence of social media and, everybody everyone's a journalist, and for better or for worse, as you guys know, I mean, you guys are now full blown journalists in the eyes of the media because you have a platform. Did you go to journalism schools? You work for the New York Times? No, but here we are with a recording device, a microphone, and the same access to the same internet that connects the entire world forever and ever.
Right.
As anybody else. So yeah, I don't know. I put a pin in the word signage because I wanted to say something about this to you. I thought about you guys when I was on stage yesterday. In fact, I'll go on it and I'll come right back. I was just thinking about when you go on stage sick, I'll just mark stuff. I'll do stuff. I don't think it gets in the way of the show. Luckily, this is a show I can't, and I have done many times sick because the show is strong enough to where it doesn't really get in the way of the storytelling. And so I'm not too worried about this. It's like my ego is absolved because the show is always stronger than anything that I may or may not be able to pull off. And I just remember thinking it was like a particularly crazy day, again, 2 under 3, I have little kids. So it was a very long night. I was really tired and I did the 2 shows and they went better than I thought they should have. And I was thinking like, patting myself on the back, like, man, you made it. And I was like, man, if they only knew going in the way that they have understudies on or standbys, it's like tonight's performance Mr. Chris will be operating on 2.5 hours of sleep, uh, and entrance and exit, he will be blowing his nose into
Yep,
every,
that's
you
right.
know, every findable piece of fabric, and and is doing his best. Like
Yep.
people go, wow, and I saw the performance the night where he only blah blah blah. Like nobody sees that, nobody knows, nobody cares except you, your dresser, and
But
your castmates.
they
And you're
kind
just like,
of
I
do
wish you could have the
care.
signage that said that.
But
I
I
know.
think they do care. If I'm sitting on an airplane and we're supposed to take off and 10 minutes has passed and 15 minutes have passed and 20, all you have to do is say, "Hey guys, I got to tell you, I'm the pilot here and I had a bad belly but now I'm on the plane and I mean, I would
Yeah,
much rather have that backstory information instead
that's
of,
what I'm saying.
because I think as humans, we're going to create a story anyway. We're going to create,
Right.
and it's usually far more out there than what the actual truth is. So it's better just to be like, hey, everybody, I've got a little cold and here we go.
Exactly. I just wish they would say that. I just wish they would say that, like
It's not,
before a
I'm not
show.
apologizing. I'm
I'm
just
not
filling you
exactly.
in.
I'm not. I know. And
No,
anytime I tell people that, I'm like, "How was the show?" Like, I was sick. It's, well, I'm sure it was fine. I'm like, I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying
correct.
I was sick.
That's
It's
right.
just it's not the normal thing.
These are the
I usually
facts of
wear
the
orange,
day.
and today I wore purple. Yeah,
That's it. That's right.
Well, there's the language thing again, or what meaning we
exactly,
attach to that word sick, right? We attach
exactly.
all our own stories and our own meanings to that one little word, that one little moment.
That's
Anyway, I
it.
thought of you guys because I was like, that'll be a fun thing to share with you guys. Just that it'd be fun to have some kind of signage just when you walk in. So and so is sick. Oh, and by the way, this guy just recovered. This is the first day he's doing this without a cast,
I know.
right?
Wouldn't
Something
that
that
be great
like,
to know?
wow, amazing. What an
Darren,
incredible feat. Yeah.
incredible feat. That's hilarious.
Yeah. I know cast feet. There's getting too punny. Okay, so back to the signage of knowing how to
How to
navigate some
do
kind of
this.
public life. I mean, I have to give a great, shout out to whatever quote unquote normalcy I had as a kid. I guess I had really loving parents and a pretty normal existence before anything kind of started happening in my life that seems abnormal.
Mm.
So I have a very objective relationship with the absurdity of what public life comes with. I also I, I know a lot of people say this to be charming, but I think you guys have been talking to me long enough. People listening to maybe they'll believe me when I say this. Like, I was a fucking, and I am a fucking fan, like big capital PH with a lot of F, fan of shit. I staged doored. I waited outside of buses after concerts. Like I waited all day just so I could be in the front row of my favorite bands. Like I I am I grew up a ravenous fan and appreciator of so many things that if anybody feels a morsel, a modicum of whatever enthusiasm I had growing up for anything that I've done, I get it.
Oh,
I'm not saying I get it. I'm just so interesting, but I
no.
understand the excitement of wanting to be part of something that moves you. Like
Yeah.
I understand that to my core, which is why I like trying to give it back in whatever way I can. Again, this is not being saintly or like a good person. It's just because it's like I get it. Like I I love the food. So now that somebody taught me how to make the food,
You
You
want
want to
to
I try and
share
show
make
it.
the
off the
food
food.
as well as
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can so other
Yeah.
people can have it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, so now my mind
So
is
it
being
doesn't like
flooded.
freak me out.
But see, that just makes the world a better place because your life, you allowing yourself to be that guy in the world, to be so open, so free, so ravenous. So it gives license to people who may tap the brakes on those things, who may be afraid to show the world their enthusiasm. You being that way allows them to explore that own part of themselves.
Well, I actually will defend those people because I will say my general like taste for life should not be required of artists. I feel bad. I actually mitigate a lot of my enthusiasm, and I'm very sensitive to those around me that were like, I'll calibrate my dial if it's like a lot. Like, I'm never going to try and make my general, like, happy go lucky attitude set the tone for how anybody else should behave. It happens to service my life, but I will like, like I would look at guys like you look at like Daniel Day-Lewis. Daniel Day-Lewis is the greatest living actor on the fucking planet. All right, he's the top tier of like some of our greatest actors. He should be able to just go do the thing, smash it, and be great. All
And
right.
go back and be a
The fact
cobbler.
that yeah, exactly, and go cobble his little head off in Italy, but because he has to walk a red carpet and like be charming, which I think he happens to be charming. So maybe he's like a bad example. Let me give you another example. Like, let me reset, reslate. Here's the deal. If okay, you're the world's best juggler. I've given this story before, but I'll do it again because I think you guys will appreciate it. You're the world's best juggler, all right? And you've trained your whole life to kick ass at juggling. People come from all over the world to see you juggle, all right? And then you find yourself in a position where they're like, "Yeah, but can you do a handstand?"
Mm.
And if you can't handstand, they're like, "Oh
Yeah.
boy, it's too bad. You can't really do a
Not that
handstand.
great.
Not that great of a handstand." It's like, let the man juggle. Let the man juggle.
Yeah.
That's all he should do. He's so good at that. So there are these sort of ancillary things that have to do with what I do, at least in entertainment. Listen, I love a red carpet. I don't mind doing press junkets. I like meeting people and talking about things I care about. This is a freak accident that I happen to enjoy doing these things. I get them from my mom. I get them from my dad. But I feel really bad for my colleagues who are wonderful, wondrous artists that have so much to offer when you're making the thing, that these things are hard for them and they're really wearing on them and they're exhausting and they have a lot of neuroses about it for understandable reason. Nobody should have to wake up and have this fucking attitude about life that I do. That's absurd. Like, I'm crazy. But I'm always fending for them, because on the flip side of this, really, like, you said openness, and I was like, actually, if you know me, I'm pretty closed. I don't really talk about personal things out publicly. I don't particularly enjoy it. I love talking about what I do because I love art and I love process and I love sharing that and unpacking that with as many people as possible in a way that hopefully can help them think about things that are personal to them. But I don't really talk about my own personal thing at all. I'm actually I envy people that can put their heart on the chopping block like that. I'm not that person. As a writer, and now I'm going off. This is me just doing therapy for myself. I was at a party the other day with a terrific, I'll even shout him out. Andy Grammer. He's a wonderful musician, singer-songwriter. Andy has a whole lot of hits. And I'm the guy that at a party with a guitar or a piano, I'm like, okay, what are we singing? With some Beatles, do some Broadway. When I'm going to try and liven the party so that we can all participate, because I know just a ton of songs. As a songwriter, songwriting is harder for me unless I'm writing for narrative, unless I'm servicing an idea that is outside of mine.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit down and go, and this was my day today, and this is me. People like Taylor Swift, people who are some of our, Leonard Cohen, all these like poets, all they look at an instrument, they look at a paper and a pen, and the only thing they can do, they have to,
Express themselves.
is express themselves. And it's gorgeous. Thank God for that. Thank God for them. Thank God for the world at large who get to enjoy that vulnerability. That's not a vulnerability I have. I see an instrument as a means to be like, how can we get this party started? What do you guys want? What do you want? Like, I'm always trying to service
You're
other
the bridge.
people.
You're the bridge.
But that's what I get off on. And so, short story long, at this party, I was playing Oasis, I'm playing all these 90 tunes, we're doing all these sing-along songs. And he was like, man, I just can't do that. And I was like, what do you mean? You know these songs? He's like, I know them, like, because I know them like a song on the radio, but I don't know them in and out. The only thing I know how to play in guitar is like a song I wrote. And I was like, well, then play one of your songs. And he proceeds to play this beautiful song that he just wrote like a couple days ago. And I was like, wow, I can't do that. I can, maybe. I do write songs for myself and I have more personal songs, but they're not as free flowing and as inevitable as they are for people like him and for so many other singer songwriters. So I'm just sort of just switching it around, because I know you're saying you have this openness, and I was like, I actually wish I had more, because that seems to be the way that a lot of people connect. And I think people that are open about their personal lives really hit home with people personally, but that's just not how I operate. If anything, I'm a sentiment hoarder. I like sharing the things that are important to me and personal to me just with those people, like if you're a stranger on the outside, it's like you're not in this club. Not that you wouldn't be invited, but I don't let people in. It's not that I'm not open. I just don't let many people in.
The
I'm
inner
very
circle.
selective. Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
it's occurred to me, like there are days where I'm like, dude, if I shared half the photos or videos that I took of my personal life, it'd make your head spin.
Yeah.
These kids are so cute. I have so many beautiful things with my wife and my family, my
Mm.
friends, and my private life that sure, if I was chasing the algorithm of likes and validation,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm sure
yeah.
they would take off.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are brand deals that I'm dropping because, but that's not worth it to me. It would be disingenuous because that's not how I operate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm hearing you talk. I'm hearing about all these dimensions to you. You're talking about the juggler. I'm like, he is the juggler, but he's also the handstand. And then as a mom, I go, oh, you know what? I wonder if his mom brought as her pregnant belly into these rehearsals where your dad is, part of the San Francisco Opera and the Philharmonic and the orchestra.
Mm.
Like, did you have baby genius when you were in your mama's belly? Like, were you surrounded by all that music and culture and all that good stuff? Do you remember that from an early age?
Maybe my brother and I both grew up, very musical. But it's a combination of nature and nurture. I think there was enough in the hardwiring in the operating system that um, I think there was a natural aptitude, and then we happened to really like it, and then had the
Mm.
ambition to like pursue it, and then had the extreme good fortune of being in a family and like a city that had access to those things. I mean, the alchemy of all those things are so beyond my control. So I'm extraordinarily grateful for all those pieces falling into place. I mean, San Francisco is a wildly cultural city and had so much to offer. Um, I grew up playing classical music. That's like the one instrument I studied was the violin. Violin was like a big part of my life and actually a big part of the way that I look at all kind of music and performing. The violin is a very good metaphor for I think everything that I do as a performer because it has such a small margin of error,
Mhm.
Mm.
and a noticeable margin of error. So I have always I think maybe it unconsciously drilled into me like precision, I think, and like
Hmm.
attention to detail and nuance and everything that all instruments have, but violin is timbre, attack, release, just dynamics in
Hmm.
general are so um, big on the violin to a way that I kind of apply that to you know singing or to certainly as oration, like to orating, speaking dialogue. I tend to treat dialogue like music and music like dialogue. They're kind of
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
same to me. So
Yeah.
to go back to like coming from I don't know. I mean, listen, my mom always loved classical music and always had it on in the house. Whether or not this would shape the way that I would experience the world, who knows? But I certainly don't. I don't think it hurt. Um, and yeah, they were very supportive of arts in San Francisco. So I was just like around it, I guess. And I don't know. I've never really thought about it. I think it was just the fact that there was a support system for it. Like here's this is not a small thing. I was 5 years old and I told my mom I wanted to play the violin, and she went, "Okay,"
Mhm.
and then I did. It's as simple as that.
Wow.
And for most of the world, it's not that simple. You want
No,
a what? You
no.
want a
Yeah.
what? I got
Yeah.
to get an instrument. I got to get you lessons.
Yeah.
Where am I? Who knows how to play the violin?
I
Where
did
can I
that
get a
with
violin?
ice
That's
skating.
hard.
We went to the
Oh
Brea
yeah,
Mall, right? And in the basement of the Brea Mall was this big ice rink. And we had just come from, oh God, corn dog on a stick. Like I remember. And I've got my
hot dog on a
little
stick.
drink,
Yeah,
right? Right, right. I've got my little drink and I'm watching these girls twirl in really beautiful, flouncy costumes. And I just look at my mom. I was like,
that
can I,
please.
can I learn ice skating? She's like, do you want to do it for the rest of your life? And I was all just sipped on my little straw and went, no. And she goes, well, then we're not doing ice skating because it was expense. It was a commitment on
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
She wanted to know if I was just loving sort of the idea of it, the eye candy of it, the
Yeah.
glamour of it. Was I going to put in the work? But as a 5-year-old, all
Yeah.
you hear is a mama saying no.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Her response is very layered with a whole bunch of
Yeah, sure.
expenses and time commitments.
Yeah.
But as a
Yeah.
5-year-old, all you're hearing is nope, and there's a limit. So the next time you ask, you may not ask because it's going to be met with something, with a response that you don't necessarily understand. You just
Right.
hear no.
Wow. You
Yeah.
just made you made my brain do some archaeology where I was just like, well, then what was my moment? Why did I ask to play the violin? And I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? When you asked did you asked if being around all that stuff had an effect on me? Here's actually what I will land on is I think, and I have what I call younger brother syndrome. Like I'm always trying to prove myself and earn my stripes
Mhm.
with the upperclassmen.
Okay.
So it's weird when you become the upperclassman yourself because you're like, well, who else would I have to impress? Oh, I guess I have to impress the underclassmen. But I'm always trying to like earn my keep
Okay.
and like, work hard to earn that with people that I respect and admire. And in whatever way that's possible. Like I enjoy that video game, right? I enjoy gathering the things, getting the skills, then ultimately beating the boss, going like, I did it. Like that's a fun, constant goal for me. So as a kid, I think I picked up early on that my mom, who I loved very much, liked classical music. And so I was like, well, Mom, I want to play the violin because surely
almost to please her.
It'll make
to
Mama
please
happy.
her, probably, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, probably that probably is where it came from. Yeah, to like do it for my mom. Yeah.
That's interesting.
And so she was like, shit, yeah. Like, let's go. But I don't think
Interesting.
it's a little bit of both. Like, I want to do this because I think you would like it.
Yeah.
But I would like that.
Yeah.
That's again, everything I do. I'm going to play this song for you. I'm going to play Wonderwall because I think you'd like it.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Yeah.
And that will make me like it. I'm not saying, look how well I know Wonderwall. Everybody knows fucking Wonderwall. Who
Yeah.
cares? What I care about is you go. And the second you're like, I hate that song, I'll go, let's not do Wonderwall.
Don't go away. We'll be right back with the 5 questions.
More question then. Usually we ask 5. We'll ask
Yes.
1. If you were nail polish color, what's the color and what's the cheeky little name of that nail polish? And he's going to pull it out right now. The nail polish.
Yes, I will. Oh, I took it out because I didn't want it to spill in this bag. I like iridescent. I like the color, very much like me. I like that the colors will match what your eye needs to see.
You're a chameleon.
Yeah, yeah, or wants to see. I don't know if they're necessarily the same thing, but there's a lot to unpack with that in my own career choices and in my own personal preferences as a human being on this planet. But I like how the light will bend to whatever, more importantly, to whatever complements the thing around it. It'll make the other things, the other prominent things that are around pop. It'll go with it. That's actually far more profound than I meant it to be.
It's fabulous. You're fabulous. I would go to the school of Darren Criss. I would
Yes, I would
join the
too.
cult
I
of
will
Oh
sign
Darren
up.
Crissness.
no,
Sign up.
no, that's bad.
No,
Don't.
it's not. No,
not.
No.
I'm seeing the Kool-Aid. I'm seeing the iridescent, and I'm like, you're wise beyond your years.
Yep.
You're a fantastic communicator, whatever language that is, music, otherwise. I just think you're stellar. You're the only man I feel safe around that wears a pointer ring. Everybody else I'm sus about. So there's that.
Oh no. Okay, good. Phew.
You
Now
really
go.
are. You really truly are a unique and vibrant
And brilliant.
brilliant,
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you,
really
guys.
different human being.
Pleasure,
It's so lovely
pleasure.
to
Thank
talk
you.
to
Wow, what an honor. No, I love getting to talk to theater people about theater things because it's all connected to other things, as you
That's
guys would say in your
exactly right.
in your I guess your title. I would say beyond the resume, and like it all has to do with everything.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So I'm happy to talk all about it. I think there was more that I wanted to say and I literally had things that I hope we get into, but I think
Well,
such is the
come
beauty
back.
of having
You
a
ever
great
want to come
conversation.
back?
There's
You come on back.
always leave them wanting more, right?
That's right. That's right.
Thank you so
Thank
much. Go
you.
Thanks,
enjoy
my
your
friends. What an
show.
honor.
Go
You
enjoy the
too.
best
Yeah,
show on Broadway. Bye.
I
Bye.
will. I really will. I'm so happy to get to do it.
So
Bye,
exciting.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my goodness.
I mean,
He's so dreamy.
obsessed.
Do you know
I'm
his
a
wife?
little obsessed. No, I don't. No.
'Cause
Um,
she has to be just as amazing as he is, because he
Has
would
to.
never be with someone who's not
Well, you know, I
amazing.
can't speak to what he would need in a partner or do you know, but I mean,
Yeah, but
quality, of
he could
course.
never be with a human being who wasn't curious and open, and you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yes.
he's
Yeah.
a fascinating guy. God, and I really didn't know very much about him because I never watched Glee. I know people are gonna hate me for that, but I've never watched Glee. I didn't happen to see the Versace um uh
Oh,
miniseries that he was part of, which I'm
yeah.
gonna go watch right now. But
Yeah.
and when I started doing, I loved him and Maybe Happy Ending. I was like, I love this person. And when I started researching him, I just said, is it possible someone speaks this many languages and plays this many instruments and is this charming and is this handsome? He can do the juggling and the handstands and
Right.
I mean,
Right.
it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even seem to think it's extraordinary.
Well, you know, when
Like,
they say we
dude.
only tap the average, air quotes, tap into 10% of their brain, he obviously is just
Yeah.
working in
Yes.
different
Yep.
percentages than the rest of us. But I felt similarly when I meet someone who is so wildly smart, talented, uh, in this way, then you think, oh, socially, they must be a bit awkward, or
That's
as
what
you
I was
said,
trying to
more
say. More
insulated,
insulated.
or yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's not the case.
No, I know,
No,
and
but
that's
he
what I'm
does
saying. That's so
say,
unique.
that you know, keeps the special moments and that which is most personal and private to him
Yeah.
private, right?
But yeah.
So I'd love to know where his battery gets recharged. Like, does it
I'm
happen at
telling you.
home or out? Like, because I meet somebody like that and I go, are you an introvert or
I
are
wanted to
you an
ask him too about
extrovert?
a spiritual practice, because
Ah,
you to be so in such a state of constant, what it seems to be constant gratitude, constant curiosity, constant centered,
yeah.
you have to have some kind of practice. And are you just born that way? Because I mean, I have a
No, he's
practice and I'm
rare.
never that way all the time, you
He's
know?
rare. He's rare. He's rare. He's rare. I literally could have a conversation like this 3 times a week with this man because
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
believe we were having, you know, like revelations in the moment and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
back. And that's always a beautiful thing to
Yeah.
have people that act as a therapist and a scientist. And he just seems to
He's
be all the
something.
things.
I know. I know. It's kind of crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, big,
I'm
mad
so
respect
glad
for
though that
him.
this worked out, and I'm so glad that we got to see that show and how special we got to see it together, because
I
it's
know.
truly one of my favorite
I
shows I've ever
know.
seen, and I got to see it
And
with you.
yes, and when I make the joke that, you know, I was weeping alongside you and holding your hand when I probably should have been with the hubs, I think it happened exactly the way it was supposed to happen, you know?
Oh
And
God.
where did I go? Where did my spirit go to believe that there was an intermission? So I must have had some moment of finality for act one that was in my mind, and
Yeah.
then started the journey with them of act two. So, gosh, forgive me for that little hiccup in my robotic board or
Well,
whatever you would call it.
and we're so accustomed to having the intermission that maybe you just in the after effect you just kind of place it in there in your mind.
Maybe, maybe. But yes,
Because I wouldn't have
everybody,
remembered if there was an intermission or not. That's
no,
not something I would have noted.
no.
But
It just felt like a full and complete. Y'all, we could not use enough positive
no.
adjectives for this show. Trust us, it lives up to all of the compliments,
Yeah.
all of the love letters.
wanna
It's
see it again.
really special. I do
Yeah,
too.
it's so special. So special.
Go
All
see
right.
it,
Well,
go see
this
it.
was such a joy. I'm so glad it worked out. We struggled
Me
with the audio
too.
and the
Yeah.
freezing and everything.
You'll have some editing to do for sure.
the ghosts there at the, is it the Belasco?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's at the Belasco. The ghosts at the Belasco were messing with us
They
to
did
start.
not want this interview to
No,
happen.
but then they backed off. I wanted to ask him that too, if he had any Belasco ghost stories.
Oh, there are some famous ones, right? Is it
Yeah,
the
I
lady
think
in
it's
white?
supposed to be like the most haunted theater or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Anyway, I love ya.
I love you too.
All right.
Bye.